Today on the Because Family podcast, I went to the biggest tech trade show in the world and brought back some great information for your family. Hey, thank you for watching and listening to the Because Family podcast. Please like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, like this and share it with your friends so this information can spread. And then if you're listening on iTunes, please subscribe on iTunes and leave a review. Let people know why you enjoy the Because Family podcast. Speaking of that, the show is brought to you by Accountable to You. That's Accountable, the number 2, Y-O-U. And you can use the promo code Because Family, all one word, to save. Your first month will be free on your $6.99 subscription to Accountable to You for up to 10 devices. It's a accountability software that helps you by reporting any adult content that's visited on any web browser on your computer or smartphone device. It even works now. Their newest app or the newest update has made it where it works on any on your iOS devices as well. Any browser, any web browser in iOS works with Accountable to You now. So use the promo code Because Family to save some money on that. I wanted to talk to you about the tech trade show CES that I attended last week. Actually, I got back Saturday, the 13th of January from that trip. I've been spending the past few days just kind of trying to wrap my mind around what I learned and what I experienced while I was there and put it into some I don't want to say bite-sized, but bite-sized chunks for you as parents to be able to take in and use to benefit yourselves and help your families. And so there's a few articles that have already been published at familytechblog.com and some videos that are on our Because Family YouTube channel that you can see, or our Facebook page. I usually upload videos to both, and so you don't care why. I was about to go into why I do that, but it doesn't matter. You don't care. You watch it where you find it, so that's the plan. But anyway, so I want to just share with you some of my experience being there and some of the takeaways, some of what I learned by being at CES and some of the cool opportunities I had while I was there. First of all, I'm just grateful to those of you who read the Family Tech Blog website. That I had to have over 10,000 monthly unique visitors to that blog in order to have access to CES in Vegas. And I had it. My statistics lined up to where I was able to go and be media, and we didn't have to pay. All I had to do was get there, and I was able to get there because I raised a budget for the trip on Facebook. And those of you who donated on Facebook, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you for doing that. And then I had a friend who let me stay with her, Mary Ann. Thank you so much for that. So I had lodging covered. She even drove me downtown every day so that I could do the events down there. I had to take a lift a couple times and walk a lot, but once I was downtown, but it was all, 15-minute to half-hour walk back and forth, and that doesn't bother me. So I did that, and it was cool. And I'm walking the Strip in Vegas, so I got to see some of the stuff that I remembered from being there as a kid and whatever. I had friends like the Harringtons and my friend Derek who met me, and we had meal together or two, and I even got to go to the pinball museum and play a bunch of old quarter pinball machines, and that was really fun, really cool, and only in Vegas kind of opportunity. And so I'm grateful for all of those folks who made it just as awesome as it could be. I'm grateful to CES for allowing me to come, and man, it was cool because I was press, right? I have my I don't know if I can get it to where you can see it. I can't do this. Take it off the lanyard. But I have my press pass here. It's K. Michael Prince, FamilyTechBlog.com, Hollister, Missouri, and I got to go in media, see? And this got me into all kinds of cool things that I wouldn't have been able to go to as just a basic attendee. There was different price ranges with how you sign up, and so I was able to go as media into almost anything I wanted. They had media lounge and a media room where I was able to go kind of decompress after going to the showroom or going to some sessions. I could sit and decompress and kind of write out. And a couple times I recorded it on my phone, my thoughts after a session, or I wrote down in my notes. I just kind of put them all together in a summary of what I learned from the notes just to prepare myself to write about it or do videos about it later. They also had interview rooms and spaces with backdrops from CES, which you'll see in some of the videos. where I was able to line myself up in front of those and record myself just doing a quick little spiel for families or for whoever's listening to our Because Family YouTube channel and things. My son doesn't want to nap. You hear him? Okay. Returned I have. So anyway, I was able to go to some really great places and see some cool stuff, which I'll tell you about my favorite things now. My favorite things at CES, and I'm going to unpack some of the my favorite products at CES in a later podcast on familytechblog.com at the Family Tech Update podcast. But I wanted to tell you my favorite kind of things that were going on at CES while I was there. First of all, there is a major focus on teaching kids how to code without using screens. So there are robots with remote controls. There are pads, tablets that have coding games on them that they're not actually like a screen tablet. It's a different kind of tablet. There's a lot of different stuff like that that would allow kids to learn to program without having to be on a screen all the time to learn it. So kids who are very interested in that sort of thing can do programming but not have to be maxing out their screen time to do it. There was a major focus in something I went to called the Family Tech Summit, where they had experts, inventors, people like that who produce things for the toy industry and the tech, in a lot of the tech market, which is becoming kind of the same thing. They had all of them coming together discussing current trends and ideas and security and safety concepts in creating some of these tech toys for our kids. And the takeaway was, like I said, coding without screens and the importance of parents playing with their kids. I'm going to do an entire episode on that on the Family Tech Update podcast as well on playing with your kids. I wrote an article about it at familytechblog.com. You'll find that. Experts say that parents need to play with your kids more. And it was really cool because they talked about how technology isn't the problem. Time with your kids is the problem. And we're using the technology to replace us. And that's where the problem comes from. Dr. Eric Fisher, a psychologist who works with the toy industry and their new Genius initiative to help them come up with educational toys that are beneficial for kids. He's a great, really accomplished psychologist who works with families and children, and that's something he said. One of the things he said was, the T in trouble isn't for tech, it's for time. And how much time are you spending with your kids versus how much time are they spending on their screens? And if we're using our tech, and I say this all the time, but I'm getting backed up by these guys who aren't, well, he's in the family business, but these toy creators are taking this advice and saying, wow, okay, if the idea is that it's not healthy for kids to spend so much time doing something away from what their parents are doing, then how can we create and invent an atmosphere with our products that invite parents into the mix? And it was really neat to hear that, of course, as somebody who is always advocating for parents spending more time with their kids. It was cool to hear that. It was really neat to kind of have a good, come away with a good taste in my mouth, so to speak, about their attitude towards creating toys and products for children. Robots were all over the place at CES. My wife is hilarious. Melinda is hilarious with the robot thing. We watch too much sci-fi and Doctor Who and stuff to be like super happy about so many robots. But yeah, there's robots all over CES, and they're not about to take over the world. I watched a robot attempt to pick up a Wii remote, and it took it forever to figure out how it was going to put its hand down, how much pressure to apply, how to pick it up, where it was in space, to turn around and then go towards the table, find where the table is, find the area of the table that you wanted them to place the remote and put it down. All the stuff that your brain does, or the one of your children who's well behaved and does what you ask would do in a matter of a few seconds. It took this thing minutes and minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes to do. And so if you're concerned about the robots taking over, that's not going to happen just yet. Don't worry. Maybe our kids' will have to worry about that, but we're not there yet. But yeah, there was robots all over the place. Robots that you can build, robots that you can program. One robot I loved called Zero, Z-I-R-O, that lets you control it with a haptic glove. So you program what the glove can do on your phone. So you spend 3-5 minutes on the phone telling the glove how to behave, hit the button to send the signal to the glove. And so then the robot is built to automatically listen to what the glove says. So as you move your hand, forward makes the robot go forward, up makes the robot come backwards, that makes it go left, that makes it go right. You can use your fingers to make it do all kinds of different things. And so it was a quick little screen time to get it set up, but then after that, you're just playing with it with your actual hand motions and movements, and you could drive it around the living room or the kitchen or the area that you want to be, and you build it out of cardboard. They had one that they had built a R2-D2 out of cardboard, and they had attached these modules for this robot to the R2-D2, and the modules made it move and alive, but it just looked like an R2-D2 made out of cardboard. It was very neat. So you could build whatever. You could use pizza boxes or boxes from toys you get that the kids don't play with. They play with the boxes instead. This is going to make this a real deal, because all you do is attach these cardboard modules to the cardboard stuff you've already built, and it allows it to move. And really, if you think about it, you could attach anything to it in that case. So then they're already seeing that. People doing cool stuff with the modules that they've made. So here's a few of my takeaways as I wrap up this short episode of the Because Family podcast. A couple of my takeaways from my trip to CES 2018. First of all is everybody knows now how bad screen time is for our kids if it's overdone. In fact, Apple just got a letter from some investors that you've probably heard of that said, hey, screen time's a problem. We need to figure out how to make the iPhone basically less appealing to kids and teenagers, or there's going to be problems and we're going to get sued, or people are going to stop buying them for their kids and we're going to lose out. They're comparing it to the letters from shareholders when the tobacco industry started getting a bunch of flack for how unhealthy cigarettes were. So everybody's aware of the screen time issue, even the people developing the apps and things. One of the major things that they talked about was how apps that have open-ended playtime, something like Minecraft or whatever, how unhealthy it is for your kids because there is no stopping break point. There's always something else to do. And so the idea that they were suggesting to these guys who were there to learn what to do to make new apps and new toys for kids, they're saying, hey, build in breaks. Say, hey, once you complete this task, take a 15-minute break and go do something else. Or once you've played for 15 minutes, take a 30-minute break and go do something else. Build in these breaks, these stopping points that make it easier for kids to maybe put it down. Apps that PBS have made that say, hey, here's all about trees and leaves. Now, put down the device, go outside, and find 5 leaf types that we just discussed. Then take a picture of them and put them in the app later. So it's getting kids away. The stuff on the screen encourages kids to spend time off the screen, and that's just going to be healthier. The other thing is that they really focused on was how tech is meant to supplement and benefit parents, not replace them. It's not meant to take care of your kids because you're busy. It's meant to benefit you by saying, hey, an app I got an email about recently that lets you find a neighborhood babysitter, and then they get paid through the app like a Uber or Lyft or something. And it's people that you trust in the app that you maybe know in person. Also, this network or social network of parents and families, that's something that could benefit families, not hinder and cause a problem. Stuff like the Daniel Tiger for Parents app, which helps you use some of the short 2-minute videos to teach your kids, hey, you're having trouble at bedtime. Here, let's watch this together and learn what Daniel Tiger says and use that to help supplement what you're doing to teach them. It's not made to replace them. Another thing is that if your kid is not learning the basics of coding logic, which is the programming languages used to control computers, software, robots, and things like that, then you better hope they become a doctor or a lawyer, because that's pretty soon that might be the only job that doesn't need coding understanding. The issue is, we complain, we're concerned that robots are going to take our jobs, and maybe that's so in some senses, but there's always going to be this need for people to tell the robots and the computer software how to do the job. And so that's what coding does. It's the language that these computers and these robots read so that they know what to do. So if you're teaching your kids these simple things like Botley that I told you about, that's a little remote, you push the buttons and it teaches it go 2 spaces forward, go 1 space right, go 1 space left, go forward, pick up the thing, and there you go. If you can make your little robot do that stuff at a young age, learning what that all means, then you've got a major advantage moving forward in what they're going to do someday. So that's kind of my takeaways from CES. It was a really cool experience. I had to jot down notes what I wanted to share, or I would have just sat here and rambled forever because it was so fun, and I can't wait to go back next year. Next year, I'm taking somebody with me, an intern of some kind, and I think my wife's going to go, but not to go walk through the show floor, but to hang out and be there with me. But I'm definitely going to need somebody to go and be a cameraman or something. So anyway, I want to thank you again for watching and or listening to the podcast. Please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe and like it. If you're on Facebook, like it and share it. And if you're on iTunes listening on a podcast, whether it's Android or iTunes, please leave us a review. If you love the show, leave a 5-star review if you think we're helpful. If we're not helpful, just email me, kmichaelprince@gmail.com. Let me know how I can be more helpful. And don't forget to go to accountable, the number 2, YOU, accountable2you.com, and use the promo code BECAUSEFAMILY, all one word, to get yourself a month free of accountability software. It's very good. I just installed the new update on my phone, and it's covering any browser I use on my iPhone. One of the first times that's really ever been available. Very cool. So thank you again for watching and listening and all of that, and we'll see you next time on the Because Family podcast.